let's move over to my character's POB. So I have separated it into two. One is, I think this is the one where I was, um, yeah, where I don't have really high end gear. And yeah, this is kind of the late 80s, early 90s kind of POB with medium budget or low budget gear. So here, I ended up dying a lot in the mid 80s because my defenses are absolute shit. Necro doesn't have really good defenses, honestly. So what I did was I got this jewel, Glorious Vanity, Timeless Jewel, and I, yeah, got Divine Flesh. What Divine Flesh does is your energy shield is absolutely useless now, but then 50% of elemental damage is taken as chaos damage and plus 5 to maximum chaos res. So you can see here, my chaos res is 80%. And if I am going to take any elemental damage, 50% of that is going to go through this, and the other half will obviously go through to whatever element it is. But here you can see some changes that I made. I had to get um, Unwavering Stance. I had to get lots of life nodes. I had to get Divine Flesh for defenses, and I'm still not even 5k. I had to get rid of the medium clusters, the second one, because we are not going to achieve the slam spam anyway. So I decided to invest more in life for myself. Here I needed the reservation nodes. So this is how the tree was when I had 2 cooldown points. This helm, the very important thing is the +1 to max number of sentinels of purity. Minion damage, resistances, some life. Same thing here. During this phase when I bought stuff, I just focused on getting chaos resistance and the lab enchant, life and chaos res, along with other resistances, of course. This is a lot of lightning and chaos resistance, and basically this is it. It's just resistances and chaos res, and the entire scaling of damage comes from levels. That's how spells and minion skills scale damage wise in Path of Exile. I got rid of the CWC setup. I got Val Molten Shell on left click because I wanted some fizz damage reduction. And here you can see I use Void Sphere to summon my sentinels. I think it has more ticks than any other ability. I might be wrong. I don't know. I just found this really comfortable because all you have to do is just cast it from afar and just wait for the ticks and wait for it to go down. If you want to start and if you want to summon your sentinels at the beginning of the map, what you can do is you can use the Writhing Jar Flask. Remember I mentioned a while ago that you need spiritual aid. So what I did was I got rid of spiritual aid and I got this flask instead. And what happens is when you use this flask, 2 enemy worms escape the flask and they are destroyed when they are hit. So you don't need damage per se, you just need to hit them. And if you time it really well with the Void Sphere hits, then 1 flask will give you 4 sentinels, and then you can just start running the map. As you kill things, your you'll gain flask charges, throw in another Void Sphere and use the flask, and you're up to 5 sentinels. So that's pretty easy. I did the math once, I think, and there are 12 pulses to this. Anyway, so Pride Dread Banner is something, Dread Banner, Divergent Dread Banner. Yeah, this is what I've linked it to. I think my damage here was, it was 9.4 mil per sentinel. So 9 5s are 45, 47.5-ish mil. And this is the point where I thought I should invest more in defenses. because this is plenty damage. I was happy with getting this damage, all sentinels combined. Yeah, but I wanted to be able to survive. So yeah, all my ghastly eye jewels and stuff. I think I made big changes later on in version 2, and version 2 absolutely rocked compared to this thing, because this thing also I was testing, so I was standing in harm's way and I died a lot. So maybe if I would have been much more careful, I wouldn't have died as much. But then I wanted the build to be tanky, and I wanted it to be able to sustain something, not just get insta gibbed as soon as you just blink into a mob and just get one shot. So there are multiple layers of defenses which we use. So this is the final tree. I got rid of this cluster jewel. Yeah, I got a lot of life and I got a lot of resistances. Maximum resistances, that is. This is the shield which I crafted. I will show you how to craft this after we are done with the POB. I got this helm with the enchant, and it's missing minion life, but Necro as an Ascendancy is pretty good on minion life if you compare it to Elementalist. So I think you get 10% life here, 20, 30, and 50. So 50% more life. So it was fine. I think I kind of was pretty much late into the league, so people weren't online. So this was the best helm that was available, and I decided to get this. I don't remember the price. Probably 4 to 5 exalts. Then I got these gloves with some decks, much needed decks. I think these boots are the same. There's nothing else you can get here, honestly. If you can get good resistance rolls over here or any other item, like the helm, then you can open up a slot with either suffix, cold lightning, or chaos res, and get +1 to level of race spectre. That increases their life even further. So this is a gem this is the amulet which I have in the game. When I pulled this into my POB, it still showed the old amulet, so I just made this. That's why it shows new amulet. I anointed crystal skin here instead of ravenous horde, so I cut down on a lot of DPS, and still I am doing 6.7 mil. So let's just consider this to be 6 5s are 30 mil, and it's more than enough, honestly. Getting rid of all this cluster and investing into life was a very, very, very good decision. And the main thing is over here, I got some more life and damage here, so this was quite good. This gives you 15% chance to avoid ailments. I got some ailment immunity over here, 40, and this goes to 65. Yep, 65% ailment immunity, 79% resistances, 90% chaos res with divine flesh, critical strikes immunity, temporal chains immunity, and fortify from our Animate Guardian's gear, which I will go in details in a bit. So we got some better rings this time with implicit life. So you can see we are comfortably close to 5.5k life, and honestly we don't even have max life rolls on a few items, especially the helm, the shield, the amulet. And this kind of goes into the high budget zone, but investing more into defenses than offenses. We lost 3 levels from our second cold iron point, so you have to kind of time it as such that you have the money to make a +2 amulet, so you don't lose out on too much. Skill wise, I think it's the same. I have spec'd into bone armor, but then I don't use it because I use Val Molten Shell. It gives it gives armor and physical damage reduction. So that's kind of nice. Minion life instead of meat shield. I didn't test meat shield, honestly. This was fine to me. Minions, my specters weren't dying, so I stopped caring. Desecrate flesh offering, Wall molten shell, pride dread banner with generosity and enlightened 4. Of course, we have void sphere, flame dash convocation linked to second wind. Carrion golem is our second buff minion linked to feeding frenzy and maim for the buffs. And yeah, this is what the config is. This is serious DPS. And yeah, I'll go through the skill gems once again, at least the links. So I got multi-strike. You can see my gems aren't even full. I got Predator, I got Awakened Melee Fizz, I got Brutality and Impale. Talking about the Ascendancy, I got this first, Mindless Aggression. Then I got Levels. Then I took this just before Act 10, just before completing Act 10. This is good. Minion resistances are very essential for your Spectres and, Animate Guardian support minions to stay alive. So this helps. And lastly, I got this for more minion life and 1% additional physical damage reduction per minion. So here you can see we have capped our physical damage reduction. We've done it through flasks, and what this point does is that if you have 10 minions, you have 10% additional physical damage reduction, and we easily touch that amount. We have 4 Spectres, we have 1 Animate Guardian, we have 1 Carrion Golem, that's 6, and 5 Sentinels, that is 11. So this makes sense to me. Over this, kill effect duration is not an issue. If you keep throwing your white spheres in the map, Sentinels refresh their duration. You kind of need Enduring Bond for the minion duration. You cannot. This is a huge quality of life wheel. You kind of need this, at least in my experience. Now let's talk about the Spectres. So our Spectre number 1 is Carnage Chieftain. This is the power charge monkey. You don't want him to run out of mana. That is why we use life tap. So he keeps spamming that ability and gives us frenzy charges. And he takes us to 3 frenzy charges as soon as possible. Same goes with Host Chieftain. He is the power charge monkey. You can find both of these in Act 7 Ashen Fields. Now the third Spectre that I absolutely love using is Merveil's Retainer. She has vulnerability and her curse is much more better than the gem. And obviously we're playing a minion build, so we don't want to do anything. We just want to... summoning her Sentinels of Purity is a lot of work compared to other minion builds. So let's just, delegate our skills. So vulnerability goes to Merveil's Retainer. And the fourth Spectre, for somehow it doesn't show in POB, is the Arena Master. You can find him in Warlord influenced maps. He gives a buff from time to time which increases your damage by 20% and attack speed, movement speed by 10, 15, 20, something like that. And also note that for some reason POB doesn't calculate the coming Calamity chest piece last line mod. Mana reservation of Herald skills is always 45%. It's just so weird. It doesn't work. It doesn't show in POB. But as you have seen in the footage before, this build is legit. It's not good when it comes to clear speed, but its bossing damage is insane. And I like to play minions, so I'm absolutely fine with dogshit clear speed. But I absolutely cannot compromise on single target bossing damage. I absolutely love boss fights in the game. Also, a quick mention on the Animate Guardian. So this is something which you use on your Animate Guardian. Animate Guardian is a minion skill, and you can give him items to wear. You can give him everything except jewelry, which is no belt, no amulet, and no rings. So you can give him boots, gloves, armor, helm, and a weapon. So yeah, this is our dude. I think I took him up to 130k life. When you are running a low budget Animate Guardian, you can start using your Spectres and Animate Guardians from around level 15, and then you can give him some low budget stuff, because there are chances he's gonna die and you lose the items if your Animate Guardian dies. So it hurts. I know the pain, and I do not wish that pain on anyone else. I have lost Exalt's worth of items, and it sucks. So the main thing over here is nearby allies' action speed cannot be modified to below base value, and nearby enemies cannot deal critical strikes. This is one of the biggest defensive layers anybody can have in Path of Exile. Crit, most one shots in Path of Exile, in my experience, are crits. So this makes you immune to that. It's not like you add these defensive layers and your Necro becomes immortal. You can still die. You still have to dodge mechanics, but then you have more time with such high defenses. You have more leeway, to dodge mechanics. And you must have seen in the footage before, I become complacent and I end up dying. Sometimes I make a few mistakes here and there and I pay the price. So yeah, it's not like you become immortal, but then these things are really, really important. Without this, you have to be really careful, or you have to get lucky. So after this thing, the weapon is Kingmaker Despot Axe. Again, the best in slot weapon for Animate Guardian. It gives you Fortify, it gives crit multi to our minions, it gives Culling Strike to our minions, which is insane. And also item rarity if you care about that. Then you just get some Chaos Res, I think, on gloves and flat life. So I got Chaos Res, life, and this. Yeah, 9% increased physical damage. I gave one such helm to my AG. I gave him an Elder chest piece, percentage increased life and flat life. So he went up to 130k life. After I made these changes, after I got rid of the cluster jewel over here and added defenses, this build became really amazing. It was good before, but it became amazing. It felt great to play.